This is the weekly sales meeting for July 27th, 2025. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, the whale. Many sellers are taught early in their careers that all customers matter. And while this is true in the broadest sense, not all customers matter equally when it comes to time, energy, and long-term value. There is a long-standing myth in the sales department. It is one that says chasing a lot of small orders will one day equal the value of one big one. But this is misleading. It might feel like progress, but in reality, it's often mere activity. And it is activity that drains energy without driving real growth. The truth is, it takes an equal amount of effort, and sometimes more, to chase small customers as it does to chase the big ones. The outcomes are rarely the same. When a salesperson begins their career, there is a natural temptation to start small. Small clients feel safer. It is less intimidating, and there are more of them, so they are more accessible. Sellers often tell themselves, I'll get a few small wins under my belt and then I'll work my way up. But this approach comes with hidden costs. First, it sets the wrong standard. If a seller starts out chasing small customers, they are conditioning themselves to think small. We become accustomed to short sales cycles. We live for limited negotiations. And our field of vision is such that it focuses only on buyers who don't have the resources or the vision to grow. They lack the growth mindset. They are middle of the pack in their business category, or worse, they are at the bottom. Because of this pattern, sellers build habits around servicing the bottom of the market. This is instead of learning how to engage with power players. This approach signals something to the buyer. That signal is that the seller sees themselves as a small-time player. In sales, perception matters. If the first deal you bring to the table is a low-value, low-commitment contract, you are training the buyer. You are training them to expect that this is the size and shape of your business relationship. This sets a ceiling. It is a message that says this is all we expect from you. And once that tone is set, it's hard to change it. Buyers will often remain in the tier where they started. They'll expect the same pricing and the same level of service even if their business grows. The buyer may never pay more than they will on the first agreement. The old saying is you close what you chase. If you chase minnows, you'll catch minnows. If you chase whales, you'll catch whales. The difference isn't only the deal size. It's in the quality of the relationship. It's in the strategic conversation, or lack thereof. And it is the future potential of the account. Big clients tend to think bigger. They aren't looking for mere transactions, they're looking for partnerships. They want to know that you can help them solve problems at scale. And when you prove that you can, they reward you. It manifests itself as long-term loyalty, bigger budgets, and recurring revenue streams. The late Steve Jobs of Apple once said, people think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are there. The same principle applies to sales teams. Saying yes to every small opportunity might keep you busy, but it won't make you successful. Focus is the key. The more successful sales organizations know exactly who their ideal clients are. These companies structure their teams, processes, and messaging to pursue those types of clients, and pursue them with gusto. Let's look at the energy cost. Every customer takes the same amount to land in the boat. Whether they are large or small, each one takes the same energy to turn into a customer. Each requires onboarding, communication, follow-up, billing, customer service, and relationship management. If a small client generates $5,000 in revenue but consumes the same number of hours as a $100,000 client, the rate of return is painfully low. And worse, it takes time away from high-value opportunities. In this way, chasing minnows creates an opportunity cost. Every hour spent servicing a small client is an hour not spent building a whale relationship. And those are the relationships that can change the trajectory of your sales business. Consider your best and worst customers. They have common characteristics. The best customers are likely to have their plans in place and have the patience for those plans to work. What about your worst customers? They have common characteristics too. They often don't have room to breathe. Everything is a crisis and of their own making. They are quite possibly hanging on by a thread and need you to be a miracle worker. These are the ones who end up taking more of your time. Meanwhile, your best customers allow you the breathing room to make more new customers. And these new customers look a lot like your best customers. Which do you think is better for you? Research from the Harvard Business Review supports this idea. Sales teams with a focus on high-value customers tend to outperform those who spread their attention thin across all accounts. This is also supported by the 80-20 rule. It's technically known as the Pareto Principle. Roughly 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your customers. So why not build your team, your messaging, and your strategy around the top 20%? Working to get more from your best customers is often a better strategy than wasting your time on the small ones. Sellers often fear calling on whales because they assume those clients already have partners, or those customers have proven to be hard to reach. In our minds, we conjure up the idea that these customers will be too demanding. That fear is the cover for inexperience. Whales might be harder to land, but they're not impossible, and when you earn their trust, they're the most likely to invest in your services for the long haul. As the saying goes, fortune favors the bold. Those who go after the biggest opportunities with preparation and professionalism usually win. That is when compared to those who want to play it safe. There is another angle to consider, and it is reputation. Selling to top-tier clients elevates your brand. When other prospects see that you serve big players in their space, it creates instant credibility. Social proof is powerful. A whale account acts like a referral without words. It tells the market that you are trusted by the best. In contrast, if your client roster is filled with minnows, it can reinforce the idea that your company is small. And because it is a small potatoes player, you are unqualified for big business. This also impacts your sales team. When sellers are encouraged to go after small accounts, it shapes their self-image. They begin to see themselves as small or mid-level players, not power sellers. But when leadership sets high expectations and rewards those who bring in whales, it creates a culture of excellence. Sellers will rise to the level of the challenge. Give them big targets, and you'll get big results. Keep them chasing minnows, and you'll stay stuck in a cycle of low-margin, high-effort business. It is also important to understand that large clients aren't only about money. These big players are about insight. Bigger clients often come with more complex problems. This means you learn more from working with them. They push you to improve your offerings. They will challenge your external messaging. They may test your customer service skills, but they will help you with your strategic thinking. Every whale account you land is not only a revenue win, but it is also a learning win, and that learning compounds. As your team gets better at servicing larger accounts, they get better at winning them too. Jim Collins, in his book Good to Great, wrote, "Good is the enemy of great." This is the danger of settling for small accounts. Minnows might feel like progress. Sure, they generate activity and pay some bills, but they can distract you from pursuing what matters. Greatness in sales comes from chasing bold opportunities. It comes from forging high-impact relationships and elevating your sales franchise and your company to compete at the top of your category. You don't get there by staying busy. You get there by aiming higher. Yes, this method often has a longer sales cycle. The bigger the order, the longer the decision process. You and your sales organization have to give this methodology the runway space necessary for this plan to take off. It is why most sales organizations settle for small orders. They are convenient and expedient. They provide immediate relief from today's pressures, but they may do irreparable damage long term. Now consider how this plays out in your sales organization. Sales managers often set quotas based on volume. It is based on the number of accounts or number of deals or the number of meetings. This leads to a pool of sellers chasing quantity over quality. But if your team lands 10 $5,000 clients in a quarter, that's $50,000 in revenue. If they spend the same time landing one $100,000 client, the math is clear, and yet the incentives don't always reflect that. To change behavior, you must change what you reward. Sales coaching should emphasize a targeting strategy. Sellers must learn how to identify ideal customers. We need to practice how to communicate real customer value. It is our job to earn the right to hold strategic conversations. Instead of chasing low-value deals, we should invest time in building trust with top-tier prospects. A healthy pipeline reflects focus. If it is packed with minnows, it is likely that we are avoiding the tougher but more rewarding task of selling upstream. Great sellers aren't busy, they're bold. And the boldness starts by aiming high, not settling low. There's a psychological side to selling that's often overlooked. Landing a big client builds confidence, and that confidence fuels future wins. Sellers who close whales believe they can do it again. That belief becomes self-fulfilling. In contrast, those who chase minnows often feel stuck. They are spinning their wheels without real progress. Small deals rarely open doors to bigger ones. They only lead to more of the same. Momentum matters in sales, and it grows when you aim high and prove you belong at the top. This doesn't mean you should ignore small clients entirely. Every big company was small once, but the key is intent. If you engage a small client with a vision for growth, that is worth your time. If they have potential and you're helping them scale, that's a smart investment. But if you're servicing tiny accounts with no upside just to hit a number or feel productive, you're messing with your team's most valuable asset, which is time. If you cannot spot what you are dealing with, ask for help. This is a job for your manager. Ask them to help you assess the value of your client base. Often we are so close to the forest that we cannot see the trees. Albert Einstein said not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. In the selling world, it's easy to count activity. We like to count calls made, meetings booked, deals closed, but what counts is strategic progress. Are you moving closer to high-value clients? Are you shaping a book of business that can sustain long-term growth? Are your sellers spending time with winners in each business category? Winners operate on a different level. They have clarity, make timely decisions, and value expertise. They seek partners, not vendors. They want partners who offer insight, accountability, and strategic thinking. These are not only clients, they're catalysts for growth. They help you refine your value proposition. These prospects will challenge you and your team to improve. Pursuing these types of customers will elevate your standing and your company's standing. When you work with winners, you are not only cashing checks, but also building something that lasts. These relationships create legacy, not just revenue. This makes them worth every ounce of effort to secure. Every sales organization must decide what it stands for. Will you chase volume for volume's sake, or commit to quality that drives real impact? Will your team go after whatever's easiest, or will you pursue whales with intention, discipline, and skill? That choice shapes more than your revenue. It shapes your identity. A pipeline full of minnows may keep you busy, but it won't build lasting success. Chasing whales requires more, but it delivers more. In the end, your standards will either limit you or launch you. It is your choice. My new book, 21st Century Sales Success, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.